Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, Elon Musk, he is done. He is done in more ways than one. I have some very juicy details to share about Tesla, including more insiders ditching their stock. Very, very interesting, very telling. Also, I'm going to be sharing information about his divorce from Trump. The affair is over. The love is gone. Um, he's lost that loving feeling. One of them has, maybe both. I don't know. Anyway, I also have some polling data to share about Musk. And I made MAGA cry yesterday. So I'm going to share some of that as well. It was pretty fun. I had a Michael Jackson moment. I told someone, want to be starting something. Anyway, before I get into this story, please do me a huge favor. Click the subscribe button below the video here. If you like my content, if you want to watch the video first, please do that. I'm sure you're going to like it and enjoy this content. But anyway, you can help out. I really appreciate it. So here is what's going on. Musk announced he's done. He is leaving the administration. Now, originally he said, well, I'm still going to be involved. I'm still going to be around a couple days a week. I'm not completely gone from Doge, but I'm stepping back because as a special government employee, I should point out, you're only allowed to work a certain number of days a year. So he pretty much had already exceeded that or, bumped up against that number. Well, now he's saying, nope, I'm out. Peace out. This week, what seemed to happen and what precipitated this or preceded this, I should say, Musk criticized Trump's butt ugly budget bill. So Musk called it a quote unquote massive spending bill. And he said it, quote, undermines the work of Doge. And then also, so that I should say that didn't go over well. That was like one big sticking point. I'm sure Donald Trump was not happy about that. I'm sure Republicans took issue with that because they've been all over the country lying to their constituents saying, no, this is not a spending. This doesn't increase the deficit. What are you talking about? Clutching their pearls, right? Well, also, what has been happening, and this happened, I think it was about a week or two ago. So, according to the Daily Beast, Musk got super pissed because there was a deal struck between Sam Altman, he's this tech guru, and Sam Altman struck this deal with the brother of the UAE president. So, Altman, for those who don't know, he and Musk co founded OpenAI together, co founded it in 2015. Since then, they have had a falling out. They are now arch enemies, at least on Musk's side. I don't know. Altman hasn't said too much about Musk, so I don't know if there's bad blood going both ways, but Musk definitely hates Altman. And he's made it no secret. I mean, Donald Trump was even asked about it, and Trump's like, yeah, he hates him. I hate some people, whatever, right? So the Daily Beast said what happened was Musk tried to derail this bill. Or this deal. He was angry that he was not included in this deal. And because he has another company now that you may know is XAI. So he has his own artificial intelligence company. So he went to the UAE with Donald Trump. You might recall he went on that Mideast trip with Donald Trump. And he said to them, well, you can't make this deal without me. Donald Trump won't allow it. Well, guess what? Donald Trump did allow it. Donald Trump was like, yeah, do the deal. I don't care. So after Elon Musk puts like $250 billion into Donald Trump's campaign, he totally screws him over. Does not back him up on this, and he's like, yeah, do what you got to do, Diablo. So I mean, we all know that's the way Donald Trump operates. There is no loyalty. You're useful and then you're not. And that's as far as it's going to go with Donald Trump. So anyway, word is Musk was not happy about that. He was like, no, this is BS, and he's pissed off. So anyway, seems to be a lover's quarrel, seems to be, they're not getting along as they used to. The honeymoon is over. Lasted longer than I thought it would, to be honest. I mean, we're in the fifth month of the Trump administration, and it's just now falling apart with those two giant egos, and God knows how they're both so fragile, like little flowers. So I thought it would maybe last 2-3 months. So they did better than I thought. Longer than some celebrity marriages. Anyway, uh, here's the thing that is top of mind for me. Like, what's going to happen now with all these government contracts that Musk has been given? As we all know, he is the biggest welfare queen when it comes to government handouts. And he has just been getting the prime, cream of the crop contracts since Donald Trump took office. He's gotten all of these different government agencies closed down so that they can't come after him. And, all of the investigations they were doing into his various companies have basically just been shuttered and never to see the light of day again. So he's gotten a lot out of this. Is that going to stand? Like, now that they're on the outs, is that at risk? Who knows? Maybe Donald Trump used that to force him out. Maybe Donald Trump was like, hey, I don't like what you said. This is just pure speculation on my part. But, maybe Donald Trump said to him, look, I don't like what you said about the bill, and you're undermining me. And if you don't leave, I'm going to tell all these countries now to take away your Starlink accounts and your Starlink contracts, or I'm going to cancel your contracts with the government. Who knows? Right. Anyway, so Musk seems to be at least ending up with a lot of the backlash, and maybe might not end up with all the benefit that we thought he was. We'll have to see. Because U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan, this is one of the best judges with the January 6 cases. She also handled some of the cases with Trump. Anyway, she just ruled that there, in this lawsuit against Musk and against Doge, she just ruled that it may proceed. So this was a lawsuit that was filed by more than a dozen Democratic state attorneys general. And it says that Musk and Doge violated the Constitution when they accessed government databases and when they terminated federal employees and canceled contracts. So that is going to proceed. That will move forward. She also dropped Trump from that lawsuit. So he is no longer a party to it since he's the sitting president. So I believe that Musk is going to have to handle this himself. I'm not 100% sure on that. If he's not a true government employee, does he get the same protection? Is the government going to then step up? Is like the DOJ required to handle this for him as they would anybody else? Like when Kristi Noem is sued, or if Marco Rubio ever gets sued, the Justice Department would be the ones on the hook for basically being their defense attorneys. So I don't know how that works when he is a special government employee and now he is no longer in the government at all. So again, we'll see on that. I'll keep you posted on that one. On top of all of that bad news, the Wall Street Journal just reported that in April, Musk's Chinese competitor, a company called BYD, they have their own car, they have their own electric vehicle, and it has been doing really well. It is way cheaper. It is, by all measures, by everything I've read and heard, a far better car, far superior to the Tesla. And they have now outsold Tesla in the EU for the first time ever. So EU Tesla sales were down for the fourth consecutive month in April. So here's how it's been going this year for them. So these are EU sales only. In January, sales were down 50%. That's on a year over year basis. In February, they were down 47%. March, they were down 36%. So they got a little bit of a break there, a little boost, but still not great. April, they were down almost 53% in the EU. The kicker, though, is that overall, EV sales are up in the EU. So it's not like, oh, sales are just down and nobody's buying electric vehicles. No, people are buying more electric vehicles than ever. They're just not buying Teslas. So overall, they're up 26% in the EU EV sales. Not good news for Tesla. So if they think that, oh, well, Musk is just going to walk off into the sunset and he's just going to, now because he's not in the government, things are going to go back to normal and everything's going to be great. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Not when you piss off your core supporters, not when you piss off your literal customers, the only people who care about buying an electric vehicle. If this wasn't all bad enough, though, for Mr. Musk, now another driver claims that his Tesla was in full self-driving mode when it veered off the road and crashed into a tree. So a driver was in a new Tesla Model 3, and according to Car Scoop's news outlet, there's video. It's on Car Scoops if you want to go watch it. But anyway, according to Car Scoops and according to the video, it drove across oncoming traffic. I mean, luckily there were no other cars coming, but it drove across the double line onto the grass and then ultimately hits a tree. So the video was shot from the person's dash cam. And this is on a completely straight road. It's not like it was trying to navigate some, winding road, something that's really difficult to do. This was on a very straight, what looked like a rural road. And it just all of a sudden took a hard left and went straight into the tree. And for those on the podcast who couldn't see the photo that I shared, the car flipped over. The photos of this accident show the car upside down and completely demolished. And then the driver posted these videos on Reddit. And he said he was going 55 miles an hour at the time of this accident. He is luckily okay. He got a little banged up. His back is injured, but otherwise he's okay. And he said, quote, "I loved the FSD," meaning full self-driving, "until this happened. I was a full believer in autonomous vehicles until this happened to me. Lesson learned." So if this is real, if this guy didn't stage this for the publicity or whatever, which I can't imagine somebody would do that to a vehicle of that price, just for a joke, but you never know. So if this is real, this could not be the worst timing for Tesla, because as I've mentioned to you guys, they're rolling out self-driving taxis within the next few weeks. They're saying in June, they're going to start rolling out their robo-taxis in the state of Texas. And then on top of that, there's a Tesla executive, guy named Ashok Eluswamy, I think is how you pronounce it. He admitted in an interview that Waymo, which is their main competitor, they've had self-driving taxis for a while. He said in an interview that they are ahead of Tesla by a couple of years. So this is according to Inside EV news outlet. Eluswamy said, quote, or Eluswamy, "Technically, Waymo is already performing. We are lagging by maybe a couple of years." So this leads me to the stock sales, because this could be why Musk's own brother and the chair of Tesla's compensation committee, and I'm going to try to say his name, Ira Efren Priest, I think is, yeah. Aaron Priest. Yeah, I think it's Aaron Priest. Anyway, it's Ehrenpreis. So they both just liquidated a ton of their stock this Tuesday, just 2 days ago. Fortune news outlet said that Aaron Priest sold $162 million in stock. And Kimball Musk, which is Elon Musk's younger brother, he sold 31 million. Et tu, Kimball? I mean, your own brother is ditching your stock. That is a very bad sign. And I mentioned before, this isn't the first time that he sold his stock. I mentioned earlier this year, he had already sold another boatload of his stock. What might get under Musk's skin, though, is that he is wildly unpopular. Since he endorsed Trump in July of last year, his unfavorable rating has just plummeted. So he has gone now, or well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Or yeah, unfavorable has gone up. Favorable rating has not, it hasn't tanked as much as the unfavorable has gone up. So what that shows is that there are a lot of people sitting on the sidelines, likely going, I don't really know. I don't really have an opinion on him. And now they're like, oh no, I hate that guy. Because if your favorable rating isn't, keeping track with the unfavorable, I mean, if they're not going up and down at the same amount, that's the only place that these numbers could change. So his unfavorable rating has gone from 40%, this is as of, last year, to 54%, 14% increase. That's based on Nate Silver's analysis. And then the right-leaning Morning Consult poll, which is typically more favorable to Musk and Donald Trump, they have him at a 40% favorability rating, 52% unfavorable. So not good. So this leads me to the last part of my report, which was yesterday. Like I said, had a little bit of a Michael Jackson moment there. What happened was, you couldn't see, I was grabbing my crotch. Anyway, probably didn't need to know that. So here's what went down over on Twitter. People, when they heard that Musk was leaving, they're like, oh my God, he's leaving. Let's thank him, right? All the MAGA crowd. It's like, thank you, Elon Musk. So that phrase was trending on Twitter yesterday. So I decided to get in on it a little bit and I thanked him. But I thanked him for some things that they didn't. I thanked him for leaving. I thanked him for going away. I thanked him also for exposing Donald Trump as a fraud, fraud of a, great businessman, and for exposing his incompetence. And I thanked him for tanking Tesla sales. So MAGA didn't take that too well, as you would imagine. I was called a lot of names. They were like, oh, this one lady showed, her drinking a bottle of liberal tears. And it's like, no, I'm laughing my ass off, lady. I'm not crying. You're the one crying. I'm not crying. You're crying. So anyway, there you go. That is the good news about the bad news for Musk. All right. I will let you all know when I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe if you have not. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.